Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach, and today we have with us Naira Perez, who is the founder of SpringHill Digital. Naira, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Hey, so give us a little bit of background on yourself and then what led you to start your company in the digital marketing space.
Yes. Well, I started my advertising career in a direct-to-consumer agency, which really it's fancy name for infomercials. And I got addicted to this performance-based marketing. Like everything we did was always directed by the data that we got from callers. What did they order? How many upsells did they get? Did they get any downsells? So all that information was just a fantastic way to do a strategy moving forward. So this was before, and I'm going to date myself now, this was before Facebook actually had ads. So once social media just took off and it was way more prevalent to have ads in digital environments, I made the transition from TV and magazines and other mediums to digital. And I learned everything I could. I worked for an agency as well. And then just had my own thing because I want to specialize in paid media. And I have a slightly different philosophy of what an agency should be. So although I loved all the agencies that I worked for, I learned so much. I just wanted to do something slightly different. So I founded SpringHill Digital, and we're different for two main reasons. One is our workforce is made up of contractors. So what I do is I put in place a team that actually is experienced in what your brand is going to do in digital. So I avoid having employees around that I'm like, I'm paying you and I just got this new account. You don't know email? No worries. We'll just put you and learn through.
Right. Hope for the best.
Exactly. And hope for the best. Now you're an email specialist. So instead of doing that, I actually go and look for an email specialist and put them on your team. And it is a two-way street. I do ask my contractors, do you want to work in this account? Because there is a difference between being thrown into account and actually wanting to work in an account.
Yeah.
So we make teams, we manage the account just like an agency would. It's just that slight difference of people are here to actually work in your account. They want to be here instead of they have to be here. And so
they're more of a specialist that way.
Exactly. Because I also believe that, the algorithms are so complicated that just keeping up with Facebook algorithm, as an example, it's a full-time job. So I do believe that if you're a specialist and you can keep up on how other people do things in your channel, on what are the updates, what are the new regulations, that alone, that is so valuable. So, but you can only, in my point of view, only can be a specialist in one thing. You cannot be a specialist on everything. So
yeah, I really think that's true. And it's like the old saying, you get rich in the niche and you cannot be a generalist. If you had a severe foot pain, you're not going to go to a general practitioner. You're going to go to a podiatrist. And because you know that that's all they do is work with feet.
Exactly, Mike. So that's why, even though, as an example, I do paid social media and I understand Google Ads, I have a specialist for Google Ads. I don't do Google Ads. And we have a strategy specialist and we have a creative director that only does creative. We try not to cross in the sense of doing somebody else's job, but we do need to understand other people. Like the creative director has to understand where in social media or in Google ads, the ads are going to go so that she can develop a concept that makes sense for the channel and the format. So, yeah.
And I would suspect, and I'm not a specialist in online ads at all whatsoever, but I would only suspect that setting up an ad campaign for Facebook is completely different than setting up a Google pay-per-click ad campaign.
They have common themes, but they are different in the way that the channels are different. So the intention has to be different.
Yeah.
And in Google Ads, it's a very intention based. So it's keyword related. People are there to do something. And I always use the snow tires analogy. You know they're looking for snow tires. You do not know maybe who they are or why they're looking for snow tires. But you know that if you're selling snow tires, you should be in front of a person that is looking for snow tires. Yeah. Where in paid media, the intention is different. You are interrupting their entertainment. Yeah. They're there to talk to friends. They're there to catch up on the news. So in that sense, you know who they are. You know that it's probably a lady that lives right next to some mountains or in a snow-prone area, and it is December. So all of those things make you believe that Jane Doe probably it's a good fit for the snow tires, but you do not know if she is in need of snow tires or not.
Well, that's really an interesting perspective. I've never thought of it like that. And as you were describing it, it made me think of like a dinner party or a cocktail party where there's a whole room of people. And I wonder if this is correct. Let's say that for the Facebook or the paid ads, that would be similar to a section of the room where there's a group of 5 or 10 people and you overhear them talking about snow and driving in the snow. Nobody has said, I need to buy snow tires, but now you're the snow tire salesperson and you barge in on that conversation and say, buy my snow tires. And they're going, who are you? And you're interrupting us. But then there's another side of the room where there's 7 or 8 or 9 different snow tire salespeople talking about their products. And then that same group overhears that and they come in and they go, hey, I've got a quick question about that. Mm-hmm. So it really is a different, they're similar because you're advertising digitally, but you've got to take a completely different approach between advertising on Google or advertising on Facebook.
Exactly. Plus in Facebook, you have to be way more aware of what's happening around you and your audience. So you always have to be aware of the environment where that ad is going to land, where in Google Ads, because they came to you, you can take more liberties in what you're saying because they came to you. They're interested.
Yeah, you didn't barge in on their unannounced meeting. They're asking you questions so you can get right to the point sooner because they want to hear it.
Exactly.
Yes, that's a really good point. So let's talk a little bit about that audience. What are some tips you can give on defining the audience as well as making sure you're really dialed into the correct target market?
Oh, that's my favorite topic. So your audience is the place where you start because the right message to the right person is a effective way to do digital marketing. The wrong message to the right person just goes flat. So let's find out who that right person is. And the way that we do it at SpringHill Digital, we invest a lot of time researching the audience, going to groups where they hang out related to your product or the need that you are satisfying because they may satisfy that need in a different way. So once you identify what the need that your audience has that you're satisfying, then go to groups, hear them talk, go to books that are related to that need or in the industry, and just read the reviews. I go to Amazon and just read the reviews of the products or of books or just anything that my audience is consuming so that I know what's in their mind. And then look at your followers, look at your current customers, and analyze all the information that you have and that you could potentially have. out there. So go to YouTube, see what other people are doing, analyze your competitors, see how they're talking, and you start making a picture of who your audience is. And you're going to probably have 2 to 3 very well-defined personas of profiles of people that will buy your product. And they're going to have different reasons, and they're going to have different interests. So that's important, because from there you can develop the appropriate content for them. Yeah. And so right content, right channel, right person, that is the magic formula.
So one thing that I've heard that was really unique, I did a class once on, finding that right avatar and persona. What do you think of this? And I thought this was really creative. So whatever the industry, whatever the target market, many of the things that you mentioned are just spot on how to get, details and research. But one thing that they were talking about here is finding this topic, or maybe looking at some competitors, or going to Amazon and looking for books written exactly about the topic that you help your clients with. And then you go to those books and you see that someone wrote a book on whatever that is, and you look at the book reviews and you can see where people said, oh, we love this book because it taught us this, and we never knew that, or we disagree this point. And the point is, you can get some really deeper insights from someone who wrote a book on that topic and just see what their audience was talking about. And you never call out the book or call out the author, but that can give you some good audience insights from different places than online. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, we use it. All the time. Yeah, we go and talk and look at what they're talking about, because the other part of talking to your audience is your tone and your approachability. So by that I mean, if your audience is talking about a topic with a certain language, that language matters. And that's where you find in the reviews of books. That's what you find in the reviews of YouTube videos. That's in the groups that you're going to go in and see the conversations. You're going to find out how they're talking about that need. It's not the same to talk about, as an example, I had a client that was a sleep trainer for babies. And whenever we talk about how mothers thought about the process of sleep training a baby, the question in their mind was different to what the trainer was talking about. The trainer talked all the time about the attachment and the attachment of the kid to the mother. And those are fantastic words to use, and they're very technical. But when moms thought about it, the first question that came to their mind was, is my kid going to love me less if I let him cry overnight to train them to sleep? So it's the same concept, but it's in one way, it's the technical parts may not be approachable enough. They may not put 2 and 2 together. And it's like, oh, she's talking about the same thing. So our recommendation back is talk in the words of the audience. And that's where you would go to an Amazon review book and just talk about, and you will see a mom saying, oh, I thought my kid will love me less, but actually he will love me more. Or, so then you understand, the attachment topic is actually about love, and that's how they see it in their mind. And it's so much more direct to use their own language.
And then they feel like you're kind of getting in their minds. It's like, man, how do they know that? And
exactly.
And you could do a lot of things. You could send surveys, you could do focus groups. But I think if you can do a little bit of several of those types of techniques, you're going to get a well-rounded thing. Too many people just do a spray and pray and hope that it works. And that kind of makes me think too of a lot of people, I'm sure, think, okay, good. I set up my media campaign and I'm going to check back in once a month and just see all the sales rolling in. And I never need to do any updates because it's just putting an ad in the newspaper in the old days. I set a digital ad and we're good to go. And I know that's not the case, but talk through how someone that really knows the intricacies of paid media needs to go in there and make sure you're optimizing things and what needs to be done.
Yes, that is a very big misunderstanding, Mike. Thanks for bringing it up. People think that you set your ad and then forget it and money is going to rain from the sky. That's what that's a huge misconception. And it is not. Facebook makes the platform look simple. Click here, click here, click here. You have an ad. Off you go. Now, doing that, I agree, it's simple, but doing it right is not simple. There is many intricacies. There is many little things where you can get lost. So we set up the ads properly according to the objective of the campaign. And that is the most important part because that's the place where you start and makes a huge difference for the algorithms to tell them, get me people that convert versus get me traffic versus get me just brand awareness. It's very different. The algorithm is only going to do one of the things. So you have to be very particular about which one you use. And then the optimization, we actually look at accounts every day, if not every day we will look at them and we will actively optimize at least every 3 to 4 days, depending on the
response.
Yeah,
budget and response. Yeah, right.
Exactly. And so the budget somehow also are going to influence your response. So we're right on the money there. So if we have big budgets, obviously we can optimize much sooner because we have statistically relevant information much sooner because we get more clicks, more arriving to landing pages, more information. If we have smaller budgets, we have to wait until that amount of clicks is relevant. I cannot optimize on 10 clicks, but I can optimize on 1,000. So we look at it very often and we change according to also what's happening right now. As an example, nowadays the CPMs are lowering in price. And so what does it mean to the brand that I am advertising with? What does it mean for my client? Should I take care of, should I optimize based on that? Or is the conversion rates still important and we're optimizing based on that? So there's many items to an optimization campaign. So always go back to what was your objective at the very beginning and are we achieving the objective and how can we make it better? But finding out that thing that affects the conversion, that's where the expert come in. Everybody that looks at it every day then will tell you, your CPCs are really low, but guess what? You're not getting conversions because people are getting lost in the website, or that cost per sale looks great, but we're spending a lot of money in people that are not interested, or the quality of your lead. There's so much to it that the set it and forget it strategy of putting an app and just waiting.
And business owners need to know about their business. They need to run their business. They need to optimize what they're doing with their teams and with their strategic alliances. They don't need to try to figure out all of the things with online and digital advertising. That's why bringing in an expert like yourself is so important. Is you do what you do best, let them do what they do best. So let's wrap up with this question, Naira. Is at the time of this podcast interview, we're in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis. How should businesses handle and approach their digital advertising during this time? And then as we come out of it, what should be the response as well?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. And that applies to any time there is a huge change in the marketplace or in society. So always make sure that your strategies and your tactics are still valid. There is a lot of clients and a lot of brands that will set up their campaigns way in advance. The perfect example is email nurturing campaigns where they set them up in October and now the audience is receiving emails that were designed in October and they are actually not relevant. So make sure that the message is okay in today's environment, that is not tone deaf. Make sure that you're not asking too much of audience. The audience is in their own world. They have their own needs, and maybe your product is not as relevant right now. Maybe it's not a priority. So make sure.
I'll give you an example of what I saw. What you just described. I saw this yesterday. There was a business coaching person that was talking about learn how to craft your $100,000 offer. And it was a Facebook ad. And you just know that ad was set to run and they've not shut it down. But during this time, nobody's looking to sell $100,000 coaching programs, much less buy them. So I think you're exactly right there when we know whether it's, the economic crisis of 2007, whether it's COVID, whether it's the next thing that comes up. You can have little blips. It could be a political season where there's a lot of static and noise going on, where maybe you need to adjust your ads accordingly. So it doesn't need to be a crisis. It just needs to be keep your eyes and ears open for the relevancy of your ad messaging. Exactly.
And be honest about your capabilities. This is the second thing is if for whatever reason you cannot fulfill orders right now, then be honest about it. And I think the audience will understand. And so I've had clients that's their problem. Their problem is not that they're not relevant. The problem is not that they're tone deaf. The problem is that they cannot get to the product and ship it. So, be aware of that. And so in that sense, you're going from, a campaign that was a conversion campaign, like just getting sales, to a brand awareness campaign. Yes. And that's a different strategy, and it requires different things. And believe me, I'm planning campaigns for the summer, and I don't know how the summer is going to look like, but I know the challenges that I have today, and I know the possibility of certain scenarios happening. So I have to plan for all of those and have a backup plan to those plans, because guess what? Summer will come.
Life happens. Yep.
Life happens.
You got it.
So,
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking with you. Let's wrap up now with what's the best way that people can reach out to you to have maybe an expert look at their digital marketing campaigns.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to our website, SpringHillDigital.com, or you can also find us on LinkedIn and Facebook. We have our profiles app, and you can always send me an email to info@SpringHillDigital.com. That actually goes to me, and I see those messages. So if you have a question, if you want us to look at your strategy, just let us know.
Excellent. Well, Naira, thank you so much for your time, and hope you have a wonderful day.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.